Hi Eva, my name is Sandra del Barrio. I present my clear lesson titled Legal and Illegal Drugs. It's a lesson developed by the Guidance Department and aimed at ESO third year students. This lesson divides into two classes of 60 minutes each. The objectives of this lesson are classified into content objectives and linguistic objectives. The content objectives are introduce the concept of drug, identify legal and illegal drugs, know the effects of drugs in our nervous system, and distinguish between use and abuse of drugs. On the other hand, the linguistic objectives are learn key vocabulary, use key phrases, develop language function, for example, name, comparing, relate, formulate question, and finally, acquire language skills, listening, reading, speaking, and writing. Regarding the curricular contents, the content that students should learn in this session about drugs are drug concept, types of drugs, legal and illegal drugs, the effect of drugs on the nervous system, and abuse of drugs. Task or activity. The activities that the student will carry out during the two classes are name the drugs that appear in the pictures to promote prior knowledge, classify the legal and illegal drugs, and perform an alphabet soup to learn the key vocabulary, read a short text about the effect of drugs, and underline the effects that are found, make a mind map with the drugs learning. I continue with relates the drugs to one of the effects they produce in the body, watch a video and answer a question with the partner, and finally the final project. To make the final project, students have to follow these steps. First, work in groups of 3 or 4. Second, choose a drug. Third, find the characteristics and negative effects of that drug you have chosen. Fourth, mark your poster, including text and illustration, and finally present it to the class. Moreover, a student can help themselves by visiting the different websites, and the teacher will show them some poster models. I continue with thinking or learning skill. With the activities, I want my students acquire thinking or learning skill, especially develop higher order thinking skills. The thinking and learning skills developed in this lesson are remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. To encourage the skill to remember, students recall the name of known drugs. To encourage the skill to understand, students Students classify drugs as legal or illegal to encourage the skill to apply. Students choose the effect of drugs found in reading to encourage the skills to analyze. Students distinguish between the effect of different drugs to encourage the skills to evaluate. Students are given video information to encourage the skill to create. Students design a final project. So I continue with basic competence. In the LOMCE, there are 7 basic competences, of which this skill lesson develops the following. First, communication in foreign language, because this lesson allows to express thoughts, feelings, facts, and opinion in both oral and writing form, listening, speaking, writing, and writing, and involves mediation and intercultural understanding. Second, basic competence in science and technology, because this lesson allows to use and application the knowledge about the drugs that teenagers can find in their environment and that they understand the biological effect on the nervous system. Third, digital competence, because this lesson allows to improve basic skill in information and communication technology, as well as knowing the knowledge search tools. I continue with fourth, learning to learn, because this lesson allows to organize the whole learning through the different activities to achieve the proposed objectives. The learners will use the most appropriate methods and sources. 5, social and civic competence, because this lesson allows to know the most appropriate behavior regarding drugs and the forms on relationship with peers to know how to reject the use of drugs. Regarding language skill, with everything that is working on in this lesson, and the acquisition, the receptive and as well as productive communication skill is favored. And the receptive skills are reading and listening. The productive skills are writing and speaking. To promote reading competence, students have to read the instructions and the material of the activity as well as read information on the internet. To promote listening competence, students have to listen the teacher's explanations, the content of the video, the discourse of the partner on the question of the video, and the exhibition of the poster of each group. To promote writing competence, students have to write the answer to all the tasks and write the final project. And finally, to promote speaking competence, students have to explain to the partner the answer to the question about the video and expose the final project to the rest of the class. By last, To assist the lesson, the following indicators are used. First, teacher monitors group and individual activities. For example, teacher use checking list. Second, learners participation in all tasks and activities. Third, learners complete the worksheet. Fourth, teacher completes a rubric on the learner project. Fifth, learners perform a quiz, true or false, on what was planning in the session. Good. Up to here, the presentation, my clear lesson. I hope you understood me well. Thank you for everything. I greeting. Bye, Eva.